All right. Joining me tonight is defensive lineman Leonidas Fusarelli. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Yes, sir. You did not butcher
Okay,
it.
cool. Aside from having probably one of the coolest names I've ever heard, Leonidas is an opposing defensive lineman looking to make an impression in his senior season at Davenport University. The Texas native, well, I guess not native, but originally from Ukraine, correct?
Yes, sir. In fact, man, Slava
Is
Ukrainian.
looking I was looking for his professional opportunity in 2023, so he figured he'd come on here and tell a little bit about his story and his trip from Ukraine all the way to where he finds himself today. So thank you for joining me tonight, and I really appreciate you coming on.
Appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. So let's get into it right from the beginning there. I mean, how exactly did you end up migrating from Ukraine to the U.S.?
So me and my mom are actually refugees, and I came to the United States when I was 6, and we stayed. We were like posted a little bit in Buffalo, New York, until we found a permanent location in Houston, Texas. But at the time, I'm gonna be honest with you, we didn't have like the warmest welcome in Buffalo, New York, because then we came in before 9/11, but like when 9/11 hit, oh my goodness, man, they did not like foreigners at all. It was just a complete disaster. Up north, I felt that it was not as much warm as it was down the south out in Texas because you have more of that diverse, in my personal opinion. So
Interesting. I would not have guessed that. Honestly, I mean, you always hear about Texas being kind of rough and tough type deal, but
yeah,
it sounds like for you guys they're a little bit more welcoming. That's glad. I'm
it,
glad to hear that.
well, not all welcoming, but a lot more welcoming than I would say Buffalo, New York, for sure.
Gotcha. Okay. So, at what age did you start playing football? Was it immediately when you got over here to the U.S.?
Actually, no, it's not. It's crazy. I was actually watching football by just flipping the channel, and I saw that the first game ever, Steelers versus Ravens, and I saw Ray Lewis and Jerome Bettis, aka the Bus, and they just went at it. And when I watched it, I was like, "Oh my goodness, that is that like, is that like real?" And I was like, I really, really, really want to try this out. But I had like zero English. I had broken English. I didn't understand the game at all. The coaches tried to work with me. I was a big guy. I wasn't like strong or anything like that. But if I get the ball, I didn't even start at defense. I was actually a tight end in the beginning. And literally, there was just this one play that I've always remembered. It's called towers, and literally it's just twins tight ends, right? And I'm just running a drag. I catch the ball and I go straight and lower my head, and whatever happens, that's it. It was the coolest. It was something really, really memorable that I remember. It was man. Pop
That's
Warner
awesome.
football though, one of the greatest.
That's awesome. So, about what age were you at that point?
Third grade going to fourth grade. That's really
That's
when it was, honestly.
interesting.
So
Okay. So, I see you attended Jersey Valley High School. Is that correct?
JV, yes, I did actually. I was at Jersey Village, and I had some academic issues and all that. That's one thing that could play off on the field concerns. I was a student, honestly, that had to just try to make those 70s just to get that eligibility. I didn't understand the importance of academics and how it actually translates into college because I was there, I was watching, guys like Reggie Bush and Vince Young, and I was like, man, like, these guys were like superstars and like, they're in college and like, they had all their stuff taken care of. They were probably swing by. It doesn't work that way. Not these days no more. So um, in Jersey Village, I was in rotation, but there's like guys that are just better. Pretty simple, they were better than me. They had better technique. They just understand. They had the game longer than me. That's the truth. I had an opportunity and all that, but it was not as much as I was given. My coach came up to me and told me, "I think you should go to a JUCO and develop." And I was planning to go JUCO. I was planning to go to Navarro College at the time. I was really strong actually going to Navarro, and I decided to take a different route. I decided to go to a prep school out in Colorado. So I did my thing over there, and I was trying to actually pull some strings. And one of my friends almost ended me up in SDSU at the time. However, my academic had happened again, and the eligibility situation where they said that I needed an AA degree just to play at a university because my grades were just that pitiful. It, I mean, I messed up for the most part, but we're right on track now. we're in track where we need to be. As far as when I ended up in Arizona, it was actually through a friend of mine. He was playing for the Arizona Rattlers at the time, and he asked me, what are you doing with your life right now? I said, well, shoot, I was in Cali. I was trying to play ball, but apparently not. So, I'm just doing my personal training business. Doing a little bouncing, just trying to get by. And it says, hey, if you're really serious about this, come out here to Phoenix College. Excuse me. Come out here at Phoenix College, and go out there and ball out. Went to Phoenix College, found out that I had a 1.6 GPA, which was very bad. And a lot of junior college, when you go to a JUCO, everybody has a story. Everybody has a story. There's guys that look like they're playing like Tony Gonzalez, making all these crazy catches, but they don't get their grades in. Coaches can't do nothing. You might see them one day and then they're gone, because they understand they just can't. So at Phoenix College, I had a situation with my academics again. So I just basically decided, you know what, I'm just going to get a 9-to-5 job. I'm going to be a personal trainer, a bouncer, so personal training sales, right? That was a situation for me where it's in later times, I cannot have somebody I can't have another man disrespect me, okay? What I mean by that is that, he was screaming in front of me, in front of the clients, and it was a really emotional time for me. It was a lot of stress. I had to make my numbers, and I just couldn't take it. I just slammed the door and it broke and I was out of it. Okay. So I was just working out, going to the gym. One day the girl and my neighbor, she comes up to me and says, hey, you're in good shape and all that. You play ball or something? And I says, I haven't played for a minute. And he says, well, one of my good friends, his name is Sal, and he's right now, actually, he just signed with the Green Bay Packers, like right now today. But before he
Sal
was at,
Canella.
yes, exactly, connection. And so she said, one of my friends, Sal, he just got out. He's in Auburn and all that. You know, you could go out there. Hold on, how did she say? She says you can go out there, mention the name that Sal, and the coaches might give you a shot. Came out there, talked to the coaches and all that. Explain my situation. Says, okay, well, you've been out for about a year because you've been doing sales and personal training and all that. And I was like, okay, well, yeah, true. So they just said, all right, let's see what you look like. So they gave me some cones and they looked at me and it's like, all right, this guy's not bad. They had me at linebacker and all that. I forgot also to mention one last thing. When I was at Phoenix College, this guy, he was also my teammate at the time. He's the one that actually, I don't know if you remember, he lied to the Browns scout and ended up signing with the Browns. But me and him had a situation where we were trying to get our grades straight for the season. And so when I couldn't get mine straight, but he got his straight, that's when I had to take the 9-to-5 job. So I come back to Phoenix College in 2018. I look at myself in the mirror and I ask myself, like, one of the definitions of something insanity is when you repeat something the same time and expect a different result. And I look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, man, I can't keep doing this. I have to literally get this degree and go play ball at a university. And that's what I want to do. So I locked in and worked my ass off, and I was playing linebacker at the time for Phoenix College. A lot of guys went down at D-line. The defensive coordinator came up to me, and they was like, listen, man, you're one of the strongest guys we got. Why don't you go play inside D-line and play a little bit outside? So it was like a 3-tech, nose, and outside. So I had all three of those in that position. And I was like, Coach, I'm 232. Like, I'm going to get killed out there. But he says, like, listen, man, I'm telling you right now, I've seen you cover guys on 7-on-7, and if you really want to go to the next level, I'm telling you right now, your best shot is going D-line. So I trust him. I went D-line, did my thing, okay? Then I got my AA degree and ended up going to Texas West. I signed over to Texas West in 2019. That was my signing day. Texas West, I have mixed feelings for. Okay, there were some things that we had a broken marriage. I'll put it that way. The faculty, I had a roommate. His name is Mario Lopez, and he right now is about to. I think he said he's going to go to Major League Baseball soon. He's playing right. Yeah, Mario Lopez. He's about to go like Major League Baseball. And me and him at the time, he was from a JUCO, and he didn't speak English. He was like Cuban or some like Cuban. So we had a situation where our AC was broke, and this is Texas you're talking about, Fort Worth, Texas. And so every day we would go to the faculty and ask them, "Hey man, our AC's broken. Please fix it," because I had to make weight right at Texas West, and every day me and him would just wake up all in sweat and like, bro, we can't take this. We literally put our chairs outside and we're just chilling just so we get cool air instead of inside our own rooms. It was that bad, and yeah, it was real
Wow.
bad. And so I still have these email receipts, everything where this says, yeah, man, we sent somebody out there and they're looking at it, but we can't do nothing about it right now. But just work with us, and we're waiting. It's been like a whole entire training camp. We had no freaking AC. It was terrible. So that did not sit well with me. Okay. Second thing was the dining hall. A lot of people will tell you that there was actually a rat that ran through the dining hall, and there was a girl that literally posted on Twitter complaining about it, and it blew up. And so the universe had to apologize for it. And this was not a first incident. This was a like second incident. She was a soccer player. So I mean, obviously there was a situation like that, but they addressed it all that. The people that worked at the dining hall, they were nice people. I have no complaints about that. It's just the way I felt that I was given, and for what we was paid for the most part. Now let's rewind back. Now let's go to football. Football. So Texas West was. I'm from a JUCO. Okay. These guys are rocking freaking watches during the game. Okay. Texas West did not allow earrings, did not allow chains. Here's one of the weirdest things they did not allow us. So during, like, before the games, right? We didn't have no headphones, we didn't have no phones, we didn't have no music. I know that's what they want to do. So I felt it was like super corny and all that. I didn't like it at all. I'm pretty sure that if you spoke to Damien, he would tell you that 2019. I don't know if they do it right now like that, but that's what they were doing in 2019. You know?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, very crazy.
That-
So, oh, go ahead.
no, you're fine. It's just I'm mind blown. That I mean, how do you get hyped up before a game if you don't have music? It just
I,
doesn't make sense to me.
I'm trying to tell you right now, man. It was bad. It was bad. I'm telling you,
Crazy.
it was pretty bad. But and I mean, the record showed. I'll tell you one more thing. I've never in my life been cheated so many times out of games. There's literally video proof when we played against Ottawa Spirit. So we flew out from Fort Worth to play Ottawa Spirit in Arizona. And literally, I can't make this up. There was a touchdown where my trainer he took a video of the receiver Colin Ricks caught the ball and it hit the pylon for a touchdown. And they ruled it that he caught the ball, but it was no touchdown. So the coaches, so the opposite coach from OUZ, he comes out doing this, and the game is over, and we're sitting here like that's impossible. The president of the conference sends a letter and apologizes. There was an error that we should have won that game, and that would have been OUZ's first loss ever. We were the underdogs in that game. I will never forget that. There was 4 games that we should have won. But back to that. The culture that Texas West has, I'm gonna say like this. What they do, that's them. But for me, when I came from JUCO, I couldn't wear my cross. They wouldn't like my earrings. I couldn't. There's like certain things that just did not match. It just did not click. And they felt also that the senior that they had going on, he was going to be the guy, you know. And I was just breathing behind his neck every day, and I was just waiting for the opportunity to slip up. Once I got my opportunity, was our homecoming game. I got 3 plays in. That's it. They only gave me 3 plays. First play, TFL. Second play, QB hit. And third play, a QB hurt. So next game I started against Langston University. This was the conference champs of Sooner Athletic Conference. And it was their homecoming too. And like everybody was like afraid of them. They said, "Oh, this O-line and all this right here, they're all good, you know." And I'm sitting here, I'm like, man, listen, I was a JUCO. I played against Arizona Western. These guys were D1 bounce backs. I have nothing to worry about. I have nothing to lose. First play of the game, I get a sack. And you just hear like a no pin drop happen. First play. I got 2 TFLs, 1 sack that game. And then I was just upset because I felt that I was not being treated right. So I decided to go on social media and express my gratification to God for giving me this opportunity, but also explain that, you know, just wait till next week. I got something cooking. I decided to part ways with them because we just did not have that relationship. It's just my kind of culture, my attitude, the way I play ball, the way, you know, I just like running through my head through something. It just did not click for me, for them. So I ended up going to I ended up signing with Davenport. I ended up first jumping in the transfer portal and then signing over with Davenport in the pandemic. This is going to be great. Get ready for this. So I come into Davenport in spring ball, and I'm only there for like a week because the pandemic kicks everybody in. So I'm only there for practice for like 3 days. We're in pads, and then they say, "Hey, everybody's got to go home because we don't know what's going on." So I survived a JUCO in Arizona termination, okay, and I'm trying to survive this global pandemic. So it's been a lot. Also, one of the reasons I did choose Texas West is because they had a quarterback, Donovan Isom. He was my quarterback, and he was getting looked at apparently from the Los Angeles Rams. Okay, so it was an NIA school, but there is still, if there's an NFL look, you know, I wanted to jump on it, and plus because I'm from Houston, Texas, I want to be home. I want to be close to my mom as well because that was really important to me. However, what happened is in Texas West. Give me 1 second. Texas West played ball. My bad.
You're good, man.
If you want to ask me a question, you can, man, because I'm trying to remember exactly what happened.
Oh, you're good. So shoot. Why did you end up choosing Davenport?
I was trying to talk to everyone from D2. I didn't want to touch NIA because I understood that, you know, this is just not for me. I just didn't felt like it. I tried to talk to Grand Valley. I tried to talk to Saginaw Valley. They gave me some walk-on opportunities. Some gave me just less money. I felt that Davenport was a better move because their whole D line was going to be gone. One, that everybody was mostly senior. Coach Mello was like the most realest dude when I was talking to him. He didn't tell me like a used car salesman, yeah, you're going to get the job, you're going to be my guy. He straight told me, you come to work, you compete, and if you show out, you'll get extra honey. You know, that's all that's all I needed. I just needed that kind of realness from him, and I understood, you know, this is a real guy and everything like that. And plus he also played in the Arena League ranks as well. So he already had that experience. So he understands the player coaching and all that, you know. And Sparky, man, I'll tell you what, man, that guy, he got hell of a connections, you know. Last year, we had 23 NFL scouts. So from think about this. So we only had Los Angeles Rams talking my quarterback Donovan, and then I jumped to 23 NFL scouts to come to our practice. It was a real. You got a chance to actually see how they interact, how they actually, how they evaluate us. We had an NFL agent come in, and during fall camp, just talk about what he's looking for. If he would take you as a client, well, we would need this and all that. It was just a different kind of area, different kind of experience. And on top of that, the talent, oh man, the talent is there. Honestly, you want to talk about from GLIAC to NI, it's 10 times faster, bigger, stronger, everything. You got guys from University of Michigan that transfer. You got a guy from University of Indiana State that transfer. We had a guy that was from University of Illinois, So it's everything what you can ask for. If you really want this opportunity to actually, go pro, like Sparky is the guy, but he's not going to BS you.
Interesting. And is Sparky your position coach?
Sparky is my head coach, but Coach Mello is my position coach.
Okay, gotcha. I had that back. All right. So you're listed at 6'4", 278 pounds currently. Are you playing primarily on the inside at this point?
I am playing inside. They have me right now at nose and at 3.
Interesting. I feel like you're a little undersized to play the nose.
Hey, Sparky told me you want me at 290 to be a killer. I'm trying to go 290, but it's hard to eat. I'm telling you right now. So
yeah, damn. And you were 230 at one point?
232, actually. Yes, sir.
That's crazy. I mean, so you've gained like 50 pounds already at this point, and he wants you to gain another 20?
Just about. But we'll get there.
That's insane. So, do you have any experience playing 3-4, or you primarily played 4-3?
3-4 was actually Phoenix College. We actually ran a front from there. It was not our base front, but it was definitely one of our fronts. They had me actually line up at a 5 at the time in long stick. So
Interesting. Okay, so you're definitely a scheme versatile guy. You could play whatever as far as basically all 4 positions.
I prefer a 4-3, obviously, but 3-4 doesn't really bother me at all.
Gotcha. Definitely. So, man, we've pretty much already run through most of my questions just because you covered most of what I had listed out here. What are you hearing so far about your future as far as like the NFL draft stock or what you should look at doing past college?
Past college? Well, here's the thing, man. Because of COVID, this is a beautiful thing. So I took this pandemic and I actually have another COVID year. They just gave me a COVID year for eligibility. Anybody that was there for 2020. So I have this year, senior year, and I also have a COVID year in my pocket. I'm trying to do the best I can right now because the GLIAC, I have to make an impact, bottom line. But we got just dogs in this D line, It's not nothing's going to be handed to you, and I understand it. And that's one thing I learned in my life. Nothing was ever handed to me. I got to this stage by hard work and dedication. That's all it was. And I'm always going to bet myself on anything I do. This guy could be 6'6". This guy could play at a D1. I don't care, because at the end of the day, I'm just gonna give it all I got, and I'm gonna come in there and I'm gonna work, and I'll work you as all I can.
Gotcha. So playing defensive line, a lot of times it's a lot of one-on-one battles. Who's the best offensive lineman you've ever faced?
Who's the best offensive lineman I've ever faced?
Yeah, I know that's going to be a tough one, but
yeah, let me think here, man.
It can be a teammate, it can be an opposing team. Either way, that's perfectly okay.
Honestly, I'm gonna give it to you. I'm probably gonna say Arizona Western. These guys are like tree logs, man. And this dude actually ended up transferring from Snow to Arizona Western, from Arizona Western to Utah Utes. Those who I actually had to play against. So, I mean, I'm going to have to say Arizona Western. That was probably one of the biggest tasks. But, I did all right. I hold my water. For a guy who was 230, I hold my water.
Nice.
But yeah, there's not much you can do.
That's awesome. So, what are your ultimate goals? I mean, obviously, I assume that you want to make the NFL someday. So what's your goal for this season? Are you ultimately trying to make a D1 school down the line or for next season? Are you trying to ball out and then go pro after this season and hopefully not even use the last year of eligibility?
So the goal is obviously to go in the league. And you know, the beauty about professional, we have the NFL, obviously. You have the Canadian Football League. The AFL, that's the last road. I actually in 2019 had an opportunity to possibly go to the Arizona Rattlers, but I turned it down because I didn't want to give up my amateurism with the NCAA because I felt I could still give it more. And there's a new league called XFL with Dwayne Johnson, man. So one of my good friends actually out in Arizona was talking to me about that, and he actually told me I should come out to Tempe and actually give it a shot. And I was like, you know what, man? Honestly, I'm here at DU, and I know there's bigger dogs and everything like that at the XFL stage. Let me first take care of my business in the GLIAC, and then we'll talk about the XFL. But we had two players, Anthony Scott and Miles. I don't know how to say his last name, but they're both XFL draft invites from. So you know, DU, we definitely get our guys out there, which I'm really happy about.
Definitely. Well, if you happen to remember who those two guys are, have them reach out to me. I'll be doing some live XFL draft coverage. So if they've already gotten invited, I would love to have them on if they end up getting drafted. But
Absolutely.
with that being said, I definitely think that right now is the perfect opportunity for any player in your particular position because, like you said, you have the USFL, you have the XFL, you have the MLFB, you have the FCF, the IFL. I mean, I could go on for days with all the leagues that there are to play professionally. At this point, there's more opportunity now than there ever has been before, at least in my lifetime, in terms of football leagues that are paying players to play. So, I mean, I definitely think that there's a lot of opportunity out there, and I'm definitely interested to see what happens with the rest of your career going forward.
I appreciate that. And one last thing I want to add. So one of the reasons about Texas West, because I froze for a second, now I remember.
Gotcha.
So I found out that we were going to play against a D1 school, Houston Baptist University. And the guy that was the quarterback was the quarterback that got drafted by the Patriots, Zappy Bailey. Yes. And so that was my first. And so I actually did get a chance to play at a D1 game, the first ever. And I will never forget this, man. So Zappy's lined up in a shotgun, and I'm lined up at DN. And they have me long stick. So I long stick, and I crash the gap. Here comes my teammate Dylan Petway. He coming from the outside. He gets zappy, right? And my safety picks it off. That's what I mean, it's the coolest thing ever going against an NFL quarterback. You know, who would
No
have thought
doubt.
he would be NFL? Yeah. So he started HBU and they ended up at Western Kentucky and did some amazing things. I think it's like 61 touchdowns, right? Something like that. Yeah.
Something like that.
So,
Dylan Petway, that name sounds really familiar. Is he playing in the USFL?
no. He's at Texas West right now. He's a linebacker.
Really? Okay.
He's on my
Hmm.
team.
Maybe it's somebody else that I'm thinking of. That last name sounds really familiar, like he was playing this season, but maybe I'm mixing him up with somebody else. But anyway, man, I really appreciate you coming on tonight. It was a lot of fun learning about your experiences. I mean, your career has definitely been nuts. You were telling me off camera, and it definitely lived up to everything you said for sure. We will definitely have to catch up probably after the season, and then we can talk about how your season went, if you seized that starting job you're looking for, and hopefully you get a lot of looks over the next couple well, I guess this next season, and then hopefully you don't even have to worry about that last year of eligibility because you're here and you got NFL draft stock.
God willing, brother. God willing. That's what we're gonna
Definitely,
do. I appreciate you
absolutely,
having me for sure, man. And you know, we're gonna get this thing buzzing. I feel real good about it. You know, uh, this this off season, I feel real good. So
great. Glad to hear it. Well, with that being said, man, if you get highlight tapes, anything like that, send them to me. I'll tweet them out. Try and get you a little bit more buzz around your name because definitely think from what I've seen of you, you definitely are an impressive player, and I see the traits. I see the reason why you think you can make it at the next level, and I truly agree. So best of luck and this next, and hopefully, like I said, you get that starting position, showcase yourself finally.
thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. Have a great night, and we'll catch up in the future.
Thank you. You too.